Here is my great-grandfather's 1964 David Brown 990 Select-O-Matic edition. Now I know it looks like a hunk of junk, and in some ways it is, but it's one of the longest lasting projects I've had, and also one of the things that actually got me into mechanics in the first place. I redid all the injectors and tried to redo a little bit of the fuel system without buying new kits. It's been in my family so long that I believe it deserves good treatment for once. I've redone every single fluid in it, drained everything out of the transmission, the hydraulic containers, the power steering pump, and the engine, and even the final drives, and put fresh fluids in all of them. That uncovered a lot of the leaks that I'm needing to deal with. Nothing that I can't fix. I've got the key rigged up, and I pull my fuel shutoff back. It starts at the touch of the key. That's a lot of work. Regardless, she still has some issues, and I really need to diagnose everything. But I'll walk you through and show you my favorite piece of equipment. Now, the reason it smokes the way it does is a couple of probably minor issues, but one of them being this whole fuel injector has a lot of seal issues. And buying a new kit is not that expensive. However, I haven't gotten around to it, and genuinely didn't know until pretty recently, once I finally got everything else sorted on it, that this was having issues. It may not look it, but I've redone all these injectors and coated them with some oil to try and make sure that they didn't have any issues as far as corrosion is concerned, but it's still seeped through over the years. This exhaust is just held in there for the moment by friction. I need to make an extension. About right here is where the hood sits. So I need to extend it up about 6 inches before this will all clear. Another issue that's causing the smoking is the seal around the outside of the prime pump going out. And most likely there's some issues with oil leakage out of these two gallery windows. Up at the helm you can see the new tachometer and hour meter that I've put in. That was $60. Came with a new cable that attaches into the generator. And here is the original temperature gauge, which was the only gauge left other than these two trouble lights up at the top. I believe all I need to do is polish up the front face glass of that and attach it, and it should be good to go. There's my wiring job with the key hanging out of the hole that I'm going to put it in, as well as where the light switch would be. And right here is that very switch in question. Sitting right inside of that hole, that's what controls all the main work lights and everything. So here's what I'll be making the new grill for the David Brown for. That is exactly 18 by 18 inch square. This piece I found laying on the ground is just about 18 inch wide, and I've got this caliper stuck in there at exactly 18 inches. So I'll just cut using a grinding wheel straight through all these and connect it up at the top, and finally have a new front grill that I just attached with 4 bolts. Well, she doesn't look much better, but at least there's some protection with that. Well, this is the next big issue of getting the David Brown running right. This is the main fuel pump. It's got a priming lever underneath here, if you'll be able to see that. And as this is running, diesel leaks out from beneath all these seals. So I bought a rebuild kit, so I'm going to take this off quickly, bring it over there to my workbench, and rebuild it. now that I've got her running a lot better, I'm gonna get this bush hog out and do a little bit of brush cutting with it. Put her back into service. Well, she did a great job for a 60-year-old machine. Sadly though, that injector pump's giving me even more troubles than it did before after running it for a little bit, and it won't restart. Now, that doesn't worry me whatsoever. I knew I had to rebuild the pump anyway. My main problem is now, I'm going off to college in 24 days, so I won't have as much time to do so until winter break. And I've got a lot of other projects that I want to take care of. So I can't thank you enough for sticking around to the end of this video. If you'd like to, please hit the subscribe button or watch some of my other content. I don't know if it's as good as this one or not. I spent a little bit more time and tried to be a little bit more consistent as far as being pleasurable to watch. And that time lapse with that fuel pump definitely was something out of my comfort zone, but pretty easy to do. So I might do that a lot more in the future. I know I'm not the biggest channel by far on YouTube, but the few and the proud that actually are willing to put forth the effort to subscribe to me, I have my undying gratitude.